A nation shattered, the Rwandan genocide. The Rwandan genocide stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history. It was a period of unimaginable brutality where neighbors turned on neighbors, fueled by hatred and fear. In just 100 days, from April to July 1994, an estimated 800,000 to 1 million people were brutally murdered. The victims were primarily Tutsi, targeted by Hutu extremists in a systematic campaign of violence. The world watched in horror as this small East African nation descended into chaos, leaving behind a legacy of pain, loss, and the enduring struggle for justice and reconciliation. The seeds of this genocide were sown long before 1994. Decades of ethnic tensions between the Hutu majority and the Tutsi minority, fueled by colonial manipulation and discriminatory policies, created a fertile ground for hatred and division. Propaganda spread through radio broadcasts and inflammatory speeches demonized the Tutsi population, painting them as a threat to the Hutu nation. This toxic narrative, combined with political instability and economic hardship, ignited the flames of genocide. The assassination of Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana, a Hutu, on April 6, 1994, served as the catalyst for the mass killings. Hutu extremists blamed the Tutsi for the assassination and unleashed a wave of violence that swept across the country with terrifying speed. Armed with machetes, clubs and guns, Hutu militias, under the direction of the Hutu power government, set up roadblocks, invaded homes and massacred Tutsis and moderate Hutus who refused to participate in the killings. The international community largely failed to intervene, with many countries hesitant to label the atrocities as genocide or to commit troops to stop the violence. The United Nations peacekeeping force present in Rwanda was woefully understaffed and ill-equipped to handle the scale of the crisis. The world watched in silence as Rwanda became a gruesome testament to the devastating consequences of unchecked hatred and indifference. April 1994 began with an event that would plunge Rwanda into unimaginable horror. The assassination of President Juvenal Habyarimana on April 6 shattered the fragile peace and ignited a carefully orchestrated plan of extermination. Within hours of the president's plane being shot down, Hutu extremists seized control of the government and unleashed a wave of violence against the Tutsi population. Roadblocks manned by armed militias, fueled by hate-filled propaganda, became death traps for Tutsis attempting to flee. Neighbors turned on neighbors, friends betrayed friends, and even priests turned their churches into killing grounds. The killers, often motivated by a toxic mix of fear, resentment, and the promise of land and wealth, showed no mercy. One of the most horrific massacres occurred at the Nyarubuye Roman Catholic Church in Kibungo Prefecture. Thousands of Tutsis had sought refuge there, believing they would be safe in the house of God. Instead, they were betrayed by the very people meant to protect them. The church became a slaughterhouse, with Hutu militia members, aided by some priests and nuns, massacring men, women and children with machetes and grenades. As April drew to a close, the world began to awaken to the horrors unfolding in Rwanda. The United Nations, despite its limited mandate and resources, attempted to evacuate foreign nationals, but did little to protect the Rwandan people themselves. The genocide, fueled by unchecked hatred and the complicity of many, continued unabated. The killing fields of Rwanda were a testament to the depths of human depravity, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the urgent need for international intervention in the face of such atrocities. The Rwandan genocide was horrifying not only for its scale but also for the brutal methods employed by the perpetrators. Firearms were used, but the genocide was largely a low-tech affair, with machetes, clubs, and even sharpened sticks becoming the primary instruments of death. These crude weapons, wielded with chilling efficiency, reflected the intimate nature of the violence, turning neighbor against neighbor in a gruesome display of barbarity. The Interahamwe, a Hutu paramilitary organization, played a particularly chilling role in the genocide. Trained and armed by the Hutu power government, they roamed the countryside, terrorizing Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Their methods were as cruel as they were effective, often torturing their victims before delivering the final blow. Rape was also used systematically as a weapon of war, intended to humiliate, degrade, and instill terror. Radio stations, particularly Radio Television Libre des Mille Collines, RTLM, became powerful tools of propaganda, inciting hatred and violence against the Tutsi population. The radio waves crackled with venomous broadcasts, dehumanizing Tutsis, labeling them as cockroaches that needed to be exterminated. The radio became a weapon in itself, its words fueling the flames of genocide and driving ordinary citizens to commit unimaginable acts. The Rwandan genocide stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and the devastating consequences of indifference. The weapons used, though crude, were brutally effective, and the role of propaganda in fueling the violence underscores the power of words to incite violence and manipulate the masses. The echoes of this dark chapter in human history serve as a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace and the constant need for vigilance against all forms of hatred and discrimination. To truly move forward, a nation must confront its past. The Rwandan people, scarred by the horrors of genocide, have embarked on a journey of reconciliation and healing. It's not an easy path, but it's a necessary one. Through community efforts, education and remembrance, they strive to ensure that such atrocities never happen again. The road is long and the wounds are deep, but with each step they honor the memory of those lost and build a future rooted in peace and understanding. The aftermath of the Rwandan genocide has left deep scars on the generations that followed. Children who grew up in the shadow of such violence often bear the emotional and psychological burdens of their parents' experiences. These inherited traumas shape their lives in ways that are both visible and hidden. As they navigate their own paths, they carry with them the weight of their nation's history, striving to heal and rebuild. Reconciliation in Rwanda has been a long and arduous journey. The process of bringing together a divided nation involves confronting painful memories and fostering a sense of unity. Community-based justice systems like Gakaka courts were established to address the crimes of the genocide, aiming to restore harmony and trust among neighbors. However, the road to true reconciliation is ongoing, requiring continuous effort and understanding from all Rwandans. The conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been influenced by the aftermath of the Rwandan genocide. As refugees and armed groups crossed borders, the region became embroiled in a complex web of violence and instability. Efforts to stabilize the DRC have been met with numerous challenges, including political corruption, resource exploitation, and ongoing armed conflicts. The struggle for peace and stability in the DRC remains a critical issue for the entire region. Despite its tragic past, Rwanda has made remarkable strides in rebuilding and progressing. The nation has focused on economic development, education and healthcare, aiming to create a brighter future for its citizens. Initiatives to promote gender equality and technological innovation have positioned Rwanda as a beacon of hope in Africa. As the country moves forward, it continues to honor the memory of its past while striving to build a resilient and prosperous future.